Oh, wow. This really runs the gamut of a comic book collection and being part of a huge story over years. And pretty much also, like, where did you jump in? You can tell sometimes with the trades, where the trades end and where the floppies begin. We're going to get to that. And more. Ha ha! All right. Stop farting. It's the last time I feed you burritos. I know. Sorry. I have to live with you. Hi there. Welcome back once again. It's time for the Comics Coffee Table, where we assemble once a day, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, daily. We leave our problems over there. We come, we pull up a chair and grab a cuppa, and we hang at the coffee table and take a break just for a couple of minutes a day, talking about comic books. I love talking about comic books. You do too. We've been having this conversation all year long. We've been talking since last year. I mean, this is pretty cool. And we have a theme for this year. We are using these two books. These were given to me as Christmas presents by my parents last year. So this season is dedicated to my parents. I love you. To my mom and Hoppy Poppy, my stepdad. We call him Hoppy. That's his nickname. So I refer to him as Hoppy Poppy. It's cute, isn't it? Aw, shucks. And yeah, and this show has a second theme to it as well. Besides, well, the first theme is that we're rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my entire collection. It sorely needs it. Your collection might need it too. See, my collection is like one part creative curation of certain superhero titles, and another part just a sheer accumulation of different titles for over at least, this is got to be going on 20 years worth of comic books. And I came back into buying comic books after a lapse in 2001. My collection got interpolated with a roommate, a dear friend of mine, and then the band broke up. And then I lost huge chunks of my collection once again. But then, so it starts about 2005 or 6 or so, and where I just really, and that's closer to 20 years than not. So this is about 20 years worth of comic books plus anything I was able to keep from before, which is very few and far between. But we're using these books as we're rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing. We're going to use these books to find out their value and to grade them. We're going to get a ballpark estimate in our heads of where we're at. Doesn't that interest you? Like, how much is your comics collection actually worth? You know what I mean? Ballpark figure, unless you're keeping meticulous track, which some of us do. I mean, comic book collection really fulfills those OCD nodes that a lot of us have, and there's a fulfillment of those. It scratches those itches. It can with the way we file things and the way we value things and catalog them as well. So, I just want to remind you that this show is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional grader. If you have any serious questions about the condition or value of your comic book, go to your local comic book shop and ask them. They can put you in the right direction and give you more professional advice. We do this for fun, for entertainment, and to be learning something about our beloved hobby. I've learned so much just with some limited exposure to these books. The mission of this show, I guess with the second theme, would be the local comic book shop. I'm blessed to have several in this Boston area. Pre-recorded live from our Boston studios before an audience of stuffed animals. The Comics Coffee Table. And the Comics Coffee Table, we support going to our local comic book shops instead of getting my supplies through my usual online distribution supply chain, that I have a free TV show, a free TV network and free delivery, and I can probably get a good price break if I bought in bulk. how does that help my brick and mortar mom and pop comic book shop? I want to help keep my comic book shop open, my LCS, and by doing that, I'm buying my supplies there. I'm migrating from those long boxes to short boxes, and I'm buying bags and acid-free boards while I'm there. And that's, I want to do my part, not just buy new releases, but I need to be buying my supplies there. And, I know I need to be rebagging, reboarding. I needed to be boarding. Reboarding? That's a joke in itself. Board. Usually anything with a board, I bought that way. I'm so bad. I feel so guilty that I left these comics in that condition. But that's why we're going through it. That's why we're evaluating them. We're going to see how much they're worth. And maybe even I can sell off a chunk or two of them. That would be cool. See what we get. Maybe invest. Maybe buy lottery tickets. Or invest. Who knows? But awesome. Cool. Let's get to this. All right. Welcome back to the coffee table. The coffee table where my friends would congregate. There would always be a stack of movies or music or books, and most especially comic books at our coffee table. We'd all congregate and shoot the breeze and just try to just hang out and enjoy things and turn each other on to what's going on. And in that spirit, that's why we are here at the coffee table. Also, this hardcover coffee table book here got us through last year. This is a 365-page book. It's a hardcover coffee table book. It was given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends, and it's been surfing my coffee table ever since. It would be surfing it right now, but I have it on display. But still, that's where, if you wonder why, is he really at a coffee table? Yes, it's an actual prop here in our Boston studios, furnished by our production team. Exactly, huh? Well, let's get to it. I hope that you are clobbering your problems and not being clobbered by them. Over and out. What to do when you have been turned on to one of the most coolest, sexiest, and dirty-minded and dangerous spy, multiversal, just over-the-top, violent fun, as cool as rock and roll music can be. I mean, that's a mouthful, huh? In 2006, I was not turned on to this book until later. I'm probably about 2012 or so, 2013. That's when actually see some tweets to the creative staff a decade ago gushing about this book. In 2006, Matt Fraction is one of the modern big names. He's a really decent comic book writer. I think he's pretty good. There's a couple things out there like Satellite Sam he did with Howard Chaykin on Image. It was really good. I still got to get that last issue. That's for truth. That's got to go on the list. I hope you also have a list of comics going on too that you need as well, like I do. Let's put that back on the list. I need that one. I mean, it's an incomplete series. Satellite Sam, number 14. I know. I need that. What are some things on your list? Put it put a couple in the chat if you could be so kind, or the comments. So yeah, I got a list going on. These are just this is like my ongoing list of what I need, what I've been suggested, what I really want for my spinner rack. I mean, yeah, anything with that Olympia. I want this. I'm a huge Prisoner fan. But in 2006, from Image Comics. What is Image Comics, by the way? Image Comics, I mean, we talk about Image a lot. We talk about different comic book publishers a lot, too. And one thing we haven't been mentioning is Image Comics itself. I'm going to read this, you guessed it, from the wiki! ATST! That's the wiki, Screechy. is from it's a reference to Rich Evans of Red Letter Media. I absolutely adore him, and Mike and Jay and the rest of the guys. Red Letter Media is like one of my inspirations, to have been a YouTuber. Seriously, they're just fun and funny, and I approve of their potty mouth and their weird sense of humor and the Mr. Plinkett, skit comas and everything. But okay, Image Comics is an American comic book publisher, and we heard of the big two, Marvel and DC. Well, and is the third largest comic book and graphic novel publisher in the industry in both unit and market share. This is a great story, and it was founded in 1992 by several high-profile illustrators as a venue for creator-owned properties in which comic book creators could publish material of their own without giving up the copyrights to those properties. Normally, this isn't the case in the work-for-hire dominated American comics industry, where the legal author is a publisher, such as Marvel Comics or DC Comics, and the creator is an employee of that company. Is that the creator is an employee of that publisher. Its output was originally dominated by superhero and fantasy series from the studios of the founding imaging partners. Now includes comics in many genres by numerous independent creators like Spawn, Savage Dragon, Witchblade, Bone, Walking Dead, Invincible, Saga, Jupiter's Legacy, Kick-Ass, Radiant Black, Black Science, Casanova. Did you forget about Casanova? You might have, because it's in hiatus. It's lapsed in publishing. We'll get to Casanova in just a second, but yes, in the early 1990s, comics creators Eric Larson, Rob Liefeld, Jim Valentino had dinner with Malibu Comics editor-in-chief David Olbrich, and with Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri, and I think Wals Portico. They left and made Image Comics, and that's where Wildstorm came from. And it's so each Image partner founded their own studio, which published under the Image banner, and but it was autonomous from any central editorial control. It's just great. And there was McFarlane Productions. There was Aegis, owned by Lee, and that was later renamed Wildstorm. Highbrow Entertainment by Larson. Shadowline by Valentino. Top Cow by Mark Silvestri. If you know the darkness, hello. And Extreme Studios by Rob Liefeld, later renamed Awesome Comics. And basically it's like it's been broken up. It's come back again, but Image is one of, and they also published Millar World and Robert Kirkman's Skybound imprint as well. And it's just really, they're really good comic books. Also, I'm trying to find it because I don't want to incorrectly speak, but it's like you make your own comic book, and they're your publisher, and they are your distributor, and your marketing, and but if it pays out, if you can end up selling a lot of comic books through Image, and back to Matt Fraction. Matt Fraction and the Brazilian twins known as Gabriel Ba and Fabio Moon, identical twin brothers with very similar artist styles. It's hard. It's kind of hard to tell them apart. You know what I mean? And for their styles, but this is about a super spy named Casanova Quinn and the hijinks that follow in his life. And this is a hardcover that was printed by Image. So this is really good because I don't have the floppies. And originally, the floppies were little 16-page slim lines for $1.99. published in 2006 by Image Comics, and I believe that they only had like a color palette of 3 colors. They would be, and so there are like 3 color floppies out there, I think, for the first 6 issues or so. I'm not too sure. I mean, but then came the recolors, and yeah, and this has so much like making of material. It's great. I can get lost in this stuff because it's a great comic book. It has nice conversations with the artists, the colorists, the letterer. I love the inside view looking out of this of these pages. Like the letterer, this got hand lettered. I love stuff like that. And Casanova, it kept going on. Now eventually there was an overview of this, like a theme that each volume was going to be named after one of the 7 deadly sins. And so far we have 4 of these 7 deadly sins that they've covered. So they got 3 more to go, I guess, you know. There's like gluttony, fornication, avarice, sadness, wrath, dejection, acedia, and there's boasting, and there's pride, and or just the Western one that these are named after is gula, gluttony, luxuria, lust and fornication. That's luxuria. And that really describes this one. There's gula, gluttony. There's avaritia, which means avarice or greed. Acedia, which means sloth. And we'll get to that notion in just a second about sloth. But then there's wrath and vainglory and hubris left. And there's even sorrow or despair, tristitia. So there are 8 here. Those are 8, Sully. Yeah, well, it's a wiki. You look up 7 deadly sins and it gives you 8. I mean, okay, sure, why not? I'm into it. I'm there. So there are more editions coming. It's an incomplete story coming to where we're going today with the book. Here's the book. You can find links to both of these books in the description. Links to their Amazon pages. You can get your own copy at home, and you can play along at home. And let me know what you find in your long box that you valued, and be like, oh wow, I found this, and it's worth $50 if it was in good condition. Oh boy, here we go again. Damn. Con. There we go. Image Comics. Casanova. June 2006 through number 14 of May 2008. $1.99. Here we go. $1.99. Black and white with olive green or blue. Those are the ones we're talking about. So the first 14 issues were $1.99, 16 pagers. Those go for $3 each. I would love, as a fan of this, to get my hands on those 14, 3-color issues. I mean, I might have found one on eBay for $30. I don't have any bloody room. I don't want to buy 14 more floppies. You know what I mean? Especially of an incomplete story. We're getting there, okay? We're getting there. So issues 1 through 14, they did a recolor. And let's see, the Luxuria trade paperback with sketch page and cover gallery. It's worth $13. I guess that's what my hardcover there is worth. Okay, but the last series was Acedia. And this was published on Image Comics. 8 issues. Image Comics from January 2015 to number 8, completing in March of 2017. And that's 2017. That's when the last issue of Casanova came out. And these are only worth $4 each. I mean, cover price. That's even issue 1. I mean, Avaritia. There you go. It's only 4 issues. That's an Icon press, which is Marvel. See, this thing bounced around from Image to Marvel, back to Image again. And that was, done on Marvel. That was done on Icon from November 2011. That's number 4 came out in August of 2012. And those were worth $5 a piece. So Gula came out shortly before that too, January 2011 to April 2011. So there was only a couple of months in between volumes 2 and 3. While the time between volumes 3 and 4 was 3 years. Now, it's been 5 years since the release of Casanova Acedia Numero 8. All right. Where's the bagging and the boarding, Sully? Where are the dings? We're getting to the dings. Every ding's okay. No dings here, actually. I don't see. Oh, hey, we got dings. Remember, boards. Yeah, as soon as you bring them home, put a board in that bag. There's a great quote from Kevin Smith's Mallrats. They're at the flea market. Brody Bruce says to the comic book vendor at the flea market, "These need boards, you bloody savage." He was right. Brody, you were right. But yes, I mean, it's been 5 years since the last issue of Casanova came out, and there's nothing on the web page. You mean, like, what's a collector to do? I mean, you're in the middle of the story. The story's incomplete. What's going on? What happened to our Casanova? Well, I made a tweet on August 24th, 2021, where I asked one of the creators on Twitter. It's one of the cool creators that if you're cool to creators, they'll be cool to you. I've noticed that. Some are downright insufferable and will judge you for being adjacent to, like, the wrong kind of people, and which I think is poor. How am I supposed to buy your comic book if you block me on Twitter? How? for over no personal interaction. It's another story. You know that story out of Eric. But Fabio Moon responded to my tweet. He actually quote tweeted me on the next day, on August 25th, 2021. On August 25th, 2021, Fabio Moon, one of the twin brothers, Gabriel Ba and Fabio Moon, the twin brothers that draw and ink Casanova, said to me, and I quote tweet, I said to him the day before, "Hey, Fabio Moon, is it okay to ask about Casanova yet? Thanks. I miss it. Cheers. Obrigada," which means thank you in Portuguese. You speak Brazilians speak Portuguese. Pero no falo. And he responds to me. And this is from August 25th, 2021, the next day. Mr. Moon says, "I miss Casanova as well. New pages, chapters, and stories are being done, written and drawn. I just don't know when they'll be published yet." Wow! Breaking news! From the comics coffee table. Breaking news. There will be Casanova in our future. I got that. I did a little investigatory journalisms. And I got a little news. That's why, hey, it made me feel like a real comic book YouTuber back then. And even more so now. But I mean, I'm going to believe him. And I responded to him and I said, I love Bruce Lee, so I put the Bruce Lee giving his salute, and I'll be here. God bless you, and a little namaste icon, and I will be here. I will buy new Casanova. I wonder why there is such a delay. Well, I know that there was something called there was a Netflix boom, and Mr. Fraction and his wife Kelly Sue DeConnick run Milk Fed Productions out of Portland, Oregon, and they're prolific comic book writers of the late 2010s, and a little bit before that. They worked a lot with Marvel, so comes Acedia, and this is in the age of the Netflix deals. So this is Acedia #1. It's released in late 2014 on the shelves, okay? And now we have a backup feature written by Michael Chabon, who is a famous writer. He also is part of he was part of the first seasons of the new Star Trek over at CBS All Access and Paramount Plus. He's famous for saying stuff about old fans, calling us that sad corner of fandom who doesn't like, if you don't like what we're doing, go find something else to do. Literally, that's what Will Wheaton, actor, who I actually really appreciate and liked it said that. So, geez, how are we supposed to compete with that if we don't like what's... But I wonder, was getting into bed with Hollywood, is that what slowed everything down? I mean, are they tied to Chabon? I mean, do they have some kind of Netflix deal? Does MilkFed, are their properties tied up in some television limbo that they really can't touch them for 7 years or so? And, something like that. I'm making this up. I'm using my imagination to come to some conclusions and because I'm just thinking, what happened to Casanova? Why nothing in 5 years? Well, if acedia here is one of the sins, and it means sloth, well then, I guess this really nails that theme, man. I guess so. I mean, because it's... we've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books, you guessed it, every day for the rest of the year. Please tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Daily! U.S. Eastern daily, 3 p.m. We talk about comic books. We assemble here at the comic book coffee table. We leave our troubles at the door. We pull up a chair. We bring a cuppa, whatever it is. Today I got a bottle of water. Speaking of Bruce Lee, yes, Bruce Lee, be water, my friend. Be water. We share a sip, a beverage at our coffee table, and we leave behind the world's problems, and we just embrace escapism for a few minutes and talk about what we love the most, these comic books. So we will see you tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and just click that subscribe button right now. That would be awesome. Be part of your day, coming in and taking a break. Now, we're going to get back to our problems and crush them, because sometimes if we don't crush our problems will crush us. Over and out. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. God bless. Namaste. Good luck, and we will see you tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.